Alright, my beautiful fans, before I even get into this, I just want to say, dude, you guys are the most beautiful people ever. Like, there's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, my fans are the best looking, they're the best family, this and that, but I think I have the most beautiful fans, and that goes to show with all the comments that I get. Even the negative comments, I mean, I would still consider them fans. I mean, they're helping out with the video. So I just have so much love for you guys. But right now, we are going to take a look at the iPhone 8 Plus and compare it to the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, what's similar between these phones actually is they're both cracked. The iPhone 7 Plus has a cracked screen. The iPhone 8 Plus has a cracked back. Now, I could have went out and fixed those things, but they actually don't interfere with anything of the phone. So I'm going to defer the question to you. Should I go and fix these things? I mean, with the 8 Plus, I'm probably not going to do it. But with the 7 Plus, the reason I don't want to do it is, one, you can barely even see it, but there's like a crack right up here. But two, if I replace the screen, the actual home button will not work anymore. And that's one thing that's really annoying about both the 7 Plus and the 8 Plus. So if I replace it, Touch ID will not work and the home button will not click in. Same thing that happened with my iPhone 7. So yeah, I could fix it, and I actually cracked it once I got it, and I don't feel like getting another one, but I mean, we'll see. If you guys are annoyed by it, let me know. So between these two, not only am I going to talk about the differences between these, like in performance and everything, but I'm also going to do some speed tests too. I downloaded a lot more apps so we can kind of get a better idea of basically what's going on and all that stuff. But pretty much looking around, they look almost identical. They have pretty much the same exact layout. They share the same exact kind of externals. The main difference would probably be in the back, but they even have the same home button, which I never really liked the vibration motor because, like I said, if you replace the screen, the whole home button does not work, so that's kind of annoying. They have the same bottom as well. No headphone jack. That might annoy some people, but it doesn't really annoy me. Same button placements everywhere else. And on the back is where they're different. As you can see, we have the glass back on the iPhone 8 Plus and the just regular, I guess, aluminum on the 7 Plus. And I actually really prefer the aluminum build. If you ever seen the jet black version of this, which if you watch my older videos, I had a jet black version as my daily driver, and that one was super sick. I like that a lot. But the glass back, I understand it because they needed to add wireless charging, and that is actually a huge advantage that you get when going to an 8 Plus, is that you get that. So I really like it. I really like the wireless charging aspect of it. I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. My iPhone 10 has wireless charging. I don't even use wireless charging with it. But I totally see how you could, and I think that's a cool feature for a lot of people. But for me, I mean, it's whatever. And now, since we're on the back, we can go ahead and take a look at the cameras too. I know you guys are going to cry and complain about it, but we pretty much almost have the same exact sensor. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but I think it's almost the same thing. We have two 12 megapixel sensors on both of these. Only one camera has OIS on both. So the main camera, which I think is the center, the left one, so that one has OIS, and the secondary lens is more so just the zoom effect, but you're also able to do things like portrait mode, portrait lighting. And between these two, there's really nothing that, you know, the other camera cannot do that I can think of right on top of my head. The main difference might be that the iPhone 8 Plus is able to shoot 4K videos up to 60 frames per second, and the 7 Plus cannot do that. It can only shoot 4K at up to 30 frames per second. But another thing the iPhone 8 Plus can do is it can shoot 1080p videos at up to 240 frames per second, where we can't do that on the 7 Plus. We can only shoot 1080p 120 frames per second. Will that affect you? That's up to you. I mean, me personally, I keep my cameras literally on 1080p at 30 frames just because it's a lot less, you know, storage wasting. And when you go up to 4K or something, it wastes a lot more storage. So that's why I usually stay with 1080p, but if it's important to you, you should keep that in mind. Now we'll go ahead and talk about battery life real quick too. I would say that the battery life on the iPhone 7 Plus is probably better than the iPhone 8 Plus. They're pretty similar, but I did find that overall, because the iPhone 7 Plus is a little bit less, underpowered. It's a little bit underpowered, I'll be honest. Compared to the 8 Plus, it's not far off. They're still very powerful phones, but because this one doesn't have as much power in it, and also it has a bigger battery, the 7 Plus has a bigger battery than the iPhone 8 Plus. It kind of gives me a reason to go. And actually, believe it or not, the iPhone 7 Plus has a bigger battery than the iPhone 10 as well. So the iPhone 8 Plus actually took a decrease in the battery size when you upgrade. So that is kind of an annoying factor, but you do kind of have to factor that into your decision. And in terms of everything else, I mean, the performance is, you'll see in a second, it's going to be better on the iPhone 8 Plus. I already know it. But in terms of performance, we have the Apple A10 Fusion chip on the iPhone 7 Plus and the Apple A11 Bionic chip on the iPhone 8 Plus. And they're both very good chips. They're very respectable. Obviously, the iPhone 8 Plus should have better performance, but we'll see that in a second. We also have a quad-core processor and 3GB of RAM on the iPhone 7 Plus, and a hex-core processor and 3GB of RAM on the iPhone 8 Plus. So the same amount of RAM, but different types of CPUs. So we'll see how that goes. Now, the main difference between these two as well that I want to quickly talk about is OS versions. So technically speaking, the iPhone 8 Plus will get an extra year support, where the iPhone 7 Plus will stop a year, or not year earlier, but the iPhone 8 Plus, if you get it now, will last you an extra year versus the 7 Plus. So keep that in mind. I mean, that's just like a little thing I have to add in. So all the specs are out of the way. Let's go ahead and do a quick speed comparison. And I quickly want to say that again, the camera might move, this table might move a little bit, so I do apologize for that, but it's the content that we're looking for, you know what I mean? Now, all the apps are going to be clear in the background, and it's pretty much like we have these same exact apps on both these, so the comparison should be pretty equal. So let's just get into it really. Let's go ahead and open up smaller apps. And I just messed it up. Let's go ahead and do the camera. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 8 Plus definitely opened it up a little bit faster. Pretty interesting so far. Let's do photos. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same exact thing. Let's do calendar. 3, 2, 1. Same exact thing almost. Let's do mail. 3, 2, 1. Same thing again. That's kind of interesting. Let's do maps. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, it looks like it opened up faster. I don't know why it took so long on the iPhone 8 Plus. That is pretty interesting. Let's do clock. 3, 2, 1. Same thing almost. Let's do weather. 3, 2, 1. Almost the same exact thing again. Let's do news. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it looks like it might have been faster on the 7 Plus, but again, we were on 2 different stages, so we'll probably just let that one slide. Let's do notes. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 8 Plus is faster. Let's do stocks. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing, I would say. Let's do reminders. 3, 2, 1. Faster on the iPhone 8 Plus. Let's do the App Store. 3, 2, 1. Faster on the iPhone 8 Plus. Let's do iTunes Store. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 8 Plus was faster. Let's do iBooks. 3, 2, 1. Faster on the iPhone 8 Plus. There we go. Now we're seeing some good speed on the iPhone 8 Plus. Let's go and open up phone. 3, 2, 1. Okay, pretty much the same thing, I would say. Now let's go ahead and do some other apps. Let's do some apps that are from third parties. Let's go ahead and do, I didn't even download Snapchat. I'm such an idiot. Let's do Instagram. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 8 Plus was faster. Let's do Facebook. 3, 2, 1. Oh, iPhone 8 Plus was way faster there. Let's do YouTube. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 8 Plus was faster. Got into that panel faster too. Let's do LinkedIn. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it looked like it was faster on the 7 Plus. That was really weird. Let's do Twitter. 3, 2, 1. It looked like it was just a little bit faster on the 8 Plus. Maybe, I don't really know. Actually, that was pretty close. Let's go ahead and do Doodle Jump. 3, 2, 1. I just hit the camera there too. I think the 8 Plus was faster actually to get into that panel. It was like faster on the 7 Plus to open, but then it was ultimately faster on the 8 Plus. Let's go ahead and do Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. Man, it's been a minute since I've seen this. 8 Plus is definitely faster there. 100%. Dope, dope. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up Waze. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, definitely faster on the iPhone 8 Plus for sure. Yeah, it's definitely faster. Pretty interesting. Cool. Good. Let's go ahead and do Temple Run. 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's looking like it's faster on the iPhone 8 Plus for sure. And it's weird that a game like Temple Run can give us this much of a difference, you know? We've been opening apps like Facebook and Instagram and all this, but the biggest difference was probably between these apps. That's definitely cool. It's a good upgrade. Now let's go ahead and do Real Racing 3. Now this is interesting because this is a pretty heavy game. We'll just see how it runs. 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's looking like it's a little bit faster. There we go. So we're already in the game on the iPhone 8 Plus, and then we shortly got into it on the iPhone 7 Plus. So a little bit of a difference there. Not a crazy amount, but it's still noticeable, which is pretty amazing, pretty interesting. Let's go and open up the Antutu benchmarking app. As you can see, the multi-core scores are pretty different. We have 197,150 on the iPhone 7 Plus and 245,260 on the iPhone 8 Plus. So quite a bit of difference, I'm not going to lie. Is it a crazy amount? Not really. I mean, once you get over, I think even like the 150,000 mark or even the 100,000 mark, the difference in performance is definitely noticeable, but it kind of means less. And what I mean by that is like, even if you throw in something like an iPhone 6s, this score right now I think is at like 110,000 or something. It's still a pretty fast phone, and I could even throw it in a comparison with the iPhone 8 Plus, and the difference will not be that much compared to something if I threw in an iPhone 6 that has a multi-core score of like 70,000. That's definitely not that good, and you would definitely be able to notice it. But I will say these phones definitely are pretty interesting in and of themselves. And I think the iPhone 8 Plus performance is very good, but I also think the iPhone 7 Plus performance is also very good. So the choice is yours. I will say if you're in the middle of these two phones, if you have the money to spend, definitely get an iPhone 8 Plus. But if you're like, find a better deal for an iPhone 7 Plus and you're scared that it's not going to be as good, I'll tell you right now, my last daily driver was an iPhone 7 Plus. I just upgraded like 3-4 months ago, and I love the iPhone 10, but the 7 Plus was a very good phone as well. You have water resistance on both. Really, the only thing that lacks is wireless charging. And as long as you're not comparing it side by side to an iPhone 8 Plus, you're probably not going to notice that big of a difference. But guys, that is my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, Lo-Fi Alpaca. Make sure you guys go subscribe to that as well. I do a lot more iOS related stuff. All the Plus versions of the iOS reviews are going to go on that channel as well. So once iOS 12.0.1 comes out and iOS 13, iOS 16, whatever, I'm going to do those Plus variants, the 7 Plus, 6S Plus, 6 Plus, 8 Plus on that channel. So make sure you keep a like down on that channel as well. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.